Right, welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the behind the scenes content day, media day at Luton, where a bunch of content creators, including myself, got invited by Luton to go to the training ground, interview Gary Sweet and the rest of the coaching staff. And I thought I want to give you a bit of a backstory on how this became about, what I learned from interviewing Gary Sweet, Jack Wilshere, Chris Powell, and so on, and what's going to be happening going forward. And yeah, just give you a little bit of insight. And if you've got any questions about the media content day, let me know down in the video comments and I will answer those questions. But while you're down there, smash the like button, and if you are new to my channel, hit that sub button as well. I would like to hit 6k subs before the end of the year. It's going to be quite a difficult challenge, but I like a challenge. So please, if you are new, please hit that sub button for Luton and EFL content. So I basically had 3 days to prepare for this media content day. I got the email on Sunday and I needed to book off work. I needed to hire equipment. I needed to get someone to help me. Lucky enough, I was able to get something rather than nothing. I don't actually have the equipment, the facilities in order to produce high quality interview style videos. So the fact that I managed to give you some videos, I'm happy with. Of course, I'm frustrated with the audio. You could tell in the comments that I made throughout my interview videos with Jack Wilshere, Gary Sweet and so on that I was disappointed with the audio. You can hear the person I was interviewing, but you just couldn't hear my questions. I am a work in progress. I will constantly get better. So going forward, when these things happen again, and that's what we've been told, that they are going to happen more regularly, I will be a lot more better prepared in terms of audio aspects. So hopefully, yeah, in future interviews, it won't be as bad as what you heard. But hopefully I did my best in the edit and you can clearly tell what questions I was asking. Now, yes, the football club would like to do this more often. That is a good sign. The club, when we were there, basically acknowledged that the communication and how they want to be more transparent, it hasn't quite, worked out to plan, and they want to be a lot more transparent. They've got not really much to hide. Of course, they're not going to be transparent in absolutely everything. I don't expect them to, and it would be crazy if they was, if I'm being honest with you. But transparency, like what they did with the content creators coming down, interviewing the manager and Gary, that is exactly what we want to see. We want to see more stuff like that. Unfortunately, we only got 10 minutes each. It was like a speed dating style. Basically, we all had our own station in the gym, and yeah, 10 minutes. Once the timer was up, you move on to the next person, and the first person I got was Gary Sweet. And kind of how I approached this media content day was, well, firstly, I'm extremely grateful that I got invited. I didn't expect to be invited. As someone that has slagged off the football club in the past, been positive, been negative, been angry, been passionate about it, I just didn't think I would get this invite. I've been doing this for a very long time now, for over 10 years. So the fact that I got an invite, I was super happy about. But I wanted to approach it in a respectful way, because I can't go in all guns blazing, asking horrible questions, because one, I won't get invited back again if Luton were to do this, and two, it's just not the correct thing to do. I don't think, they're being respectful enough to invite me down, so I should really pay the price. Of course, I did want to ask challenging questions. I didn't know what the others were asking, so when you've got OK Football there, you've got Oak Road Hatters there, I don't know what they were asking. I had my own questions on my own phone, which I prepared before going in, and I was just going to ask those questions. I knew, kind of had a sense of what people were going to ask, but I wanted to ask questions that I wanted the answers to, which helps me understand and gives me a much better perspective. So with Gary, I wanted to ask him about the Premier League January transfer window, because I felt that's when things started to go wrong for us in terms of making football decisions. I wanted to ask about Rob Edwards and the Matt Bloomfield situation. Did we give Rob too much time? And I was really surprised to hear that he actually would have done the whole thing all over again, that he would have he would have gave Rob the time which he felt he deserved. Gary was very vocal on, he had a lot of credit in the bank from winning us promotion, which he did. But I felt it was a surprise that, after that Middlesbrough game where basically Rob was saying, sack me, we still would keep him for another, further 2 more months. And also appoint Matt Bloomfield where we might have actually needed a more experienced manager. So I was surprised to hear that they would have done that again. I'm glad that he admitted that the January Premier League season wasn't good enough. That is, a positive there for me. Admitting when you've gone wrong and just highlighting when, mistakes are going to happen in football. I get that, but I think it's really important to highlight, okay, we did make the wrong decision here. How can we not make sure that happens again? So that was good to hear. I think from the club's perspective, I feel like they have understood that they have made mistakes. It isn't like they're walking around thinking, we have been making the right ones, we've just been unlucky. I don't think it is that. I also thought going in, it would be very negative, and it's not. It's actually really positive, and I found it, quite a surprise. And this, all these interviews happened after the Mansfield game where we lost 2-0. So a lot of my questions were heavily focused around Mansfield because I wanted to really know what the coaching staff are going to do to try and improve the body language of some of the players. And we've already started to see, especially Ted Mengi, for example, I've never ever seen him after a game apologise for a bad performance. He's now doing that. So I think some things have been said to the players that they need to watch out for and need to show that they do care. Jack Wilshere said it, he hasn't met a player that doesn't care. Well, unfortunately, the body language doesn't really reflect that. But since we've done these interviews, we've won 3 games in a row in all competitions. Yes, it's one game against the under-21s in Brighton. And yes, it's also against, Forest Green, who are National League. I completely get that. But winning 3 games in a row, it can give you confidence. It does give everyone a morale boost. It builds positive momentum, and when you get that togetherness, and that was the key word which I got from this media content day, togetherness. If you've got that, you can achieve plenty of things, or you can try your best to achieve the objective which you're trying to do. In terms of my thoughts on Jack Wilshere as a manager, I thought he was absolutely lovely on and off camera. Of course, I did get some information off camera, which I'm not going to disclose here because you've only got my word for it. So I'd rather you actually have, video evidence of what was actually said. But for me, I'm starting to get really good vibes about Jack Wilshere. I think he has the mindset of he just wants to win games of football, and he doesn't care what formation, what system. That kind of basically needs to happen. He just wants, to win. And I think that's what he really wants deep down. He wants to win. He wants to be successful. And I think he wants to be a better manager than he was as a player. So, I can't wait to see that happen. And I really hope he is successful. I think with the likes of Chris, David and Tim as his coaching staff, I think they all complement each other quite well. And I can just see the balance and the chemistry between them all. It kind of does fit. And they've only been working with each other at that point for probably around 10 days. So to see all that was quite impressive. In terms of going forward, the club did say that they are going to do more of these, and they might invite us down to interview some of the players, which would be really good. I've got an interview with Yusuf, the first team recruitment staff member at Luton. I've got that interview coming in December. That will be a longer video. That won't be like a 10-minute one. That would be hopefully 30 minutes plus. And I will go into a lot more detail, asking him certain questions. He's been at the football club for, I think, just over a year now. So we'll get a much better understanding on how the recruitment is at Luton and how we operate. So stay tuned for that video. But yeah, I just thought I'd just give you a bit more context about the day. Honestly, I thought it was really good that the football club did this, and long may it continue. And hopefully you really enjoyed all the interviews that came, which I published for you guys. I tried my best. With Gary, I would love to have asked him more questions, but I only got to ask him 6. I know the Supporters Trust went in really hard on him, and I think people want that, and I completely get that. But yeah, I think it was a fantastic thing that the football club did, and I was definitely surprised that I got the opportunity to do it. So yeah, I thought I'd just give you just a little bit of background. If I've missed anything and you guys want to know the answer to, please just leave a question in the comments and I will answer those questions. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.